Hey guys, Scott here, and today we're going to be taking a look at our Turn the Valves escape room prop. This prop consists of a pipe with 6 different colored valves. It can be configured multiple different ways by the user. You can either have a puzzle where you need to turn a certain combination of valves on and off, or you can set it so that you have to turn the valves all on in the correct order. So we currently have it set where certain valves need to be on and others need to be off. When we turn valves on, you'll hear audio play. And also when you turn a valve off. This gives the appearance that there's actually steam traveling through the pipe. So let's go ahead and turn them all on. All right, you can see all the valves are on. Our lock here is still locked, so that's not the correct solution. And we know that the correct solution is to have the first and the last valve actually turned off. Once the valves are in the correct positions, our success sound plays and our lock opens. All right, so next I want to show you how to reprogram the prop in this mode. So the first thing we're going to do is just open all the valves. We just want to make sure that we are not on a correct solution when we do this. Then I'm going to reset the controller just to its standby mode. And I'm going to go ahead and set what I want to be the new correct solution. So let's just say our new correct solution is just the silver valve on. You can see the LED light corresponding to the valve turning on here. And all I'm going to do is tap record. That has now saved this as the new solution for the prop. So I can go ahead and open that valve back up. We can hit play to start our puzzle. You can see that if we turn on other valves, audio plays as normal. But the new correct solution is now simply having the silver valve on. Success sound plays, lock opens. Let's go ahead and reset again. I just want to demonstrate that because we're using the input state mode of the controller, even if you have another valve on and you have the correct valve on, the controller will not recognize a success, because even though our one valve that's our correct valve is on, also the yellow valve is on. The puzzle is currently looking for the solution of only this valve on. So once we turn this one off, we'll get a success. All right, so now I'd like to show you how to change the mode of the puzzle. We're going to change it from the input state mode that it's in now, where it's just looking for the on-off positions of the valves, to an input sequence mode, where it wants all the valves to be turned on, but in the correct sequence. First thing I'm going to do is power down the controller. I'm then going to boot the controller up while holding down the number 3 button until I see a blue LED start to flash. Then I can let go of the button. Like many of our props, this prop uses the Escape Keeper controller. It's a very versatile controller. As always, I do recommend getting a copy of the manual and having it printed off so that you can go along with it while you reprogram the controller. What we're doing now is essentially going through the initial setup, so we're just going to follow the manual as our guide while we set this up. So you can see the LED is blinking once and then pausing. That means we're in our first step of programming, and that's our puzzle mode selection. You can see right now we have number 3 chosen for input state match, but we're going to want to change that to input sequence. So we're just going to take the dial here, and we can move the LED on the LED board there like a cursor left and right. We're going to move it to 1, and we're going to tap 3 to select it. 2 blue blinks is for number of puzzle inputs. We actually want to keep that the same, so we can just tap 3 to proceed. Same goes for our output 1 mode. We're using a mag lock. We don't have an e-stop, so it's set to the number 3 option, which is mag lock, no e-stop. We currently do not have an auto reset timer, which is our option for 4 blue blinks. And we don't have a game timer, which is our option for 5 blue blinks. Once we finish with the options in blue, it's going to proceed to the green options, which are the puzzle-specific options. In your manual, you would just find the options for the puzzle-specific options for the input sequence mode here, and it will tell you everything you need to know about what each blink means and what the choices are. Our first green blink is for miss on input timeout. That means that the solution would be a miss if they didn't quickly turn on all the valves in the correct order. We don't want that, so we're just going to keep that as a 1, which is no limit, and hit number 3. 2 green blinks are sort of our miscellaneous options. There's lots of different things you can set in here. You can have the puzzle miss if they input a sequence that contains the right number of inputs, but they weren't done in the correct sequence or they weren't the correct inputs. You can have it miss if they do a bad input, which would allow them to sort of brute force the puzzle. So say they got the first one correct and then they tried a second valve but it wasn't right, they would get an error sound and have to start over. And you have a couple other options that really wouldn't apply to this puzzle. So we can just go ahead and press 3 and continue. All right, so now the puzzle's back in its resting mode. We can go ahead and input our correct sequence. And to do that, it's very simple. You just hit record and then act out your sequence. So we're just going to go straight down the line. First valve, second valve, third valve, fourth valve, fifth valve, and sixth. Once we've input the sequence we want, we just hit record again to save. And that's it. We can go ahead and open all the valves. We can go ahead and hit the play button to start our puzzle. Magnetic lock engages here. And you can see if we start turning valves on, same as before, nothing really happens. We can turn valves on and off as much as we like. Nothing's going to happen because it's only waiting for one sequence of input, and that is the sequence we programmed earlier, which is all the valves in order. Once that correct sequence has been input, solution sound plays, lock unlocks. If you wanted to switch it back, you would just follow that same procedure but choose input state match instead of input sequence. Program in your state match as we did earlier and you're good to go. Alright, so that's a quick look at our Turn the Valves escape room prop. If you have any questions, of course, you can leave a comment on this video or send us an email at sales@fryprops.com. Thanks!